In 2015, this company sold their first private label product on Amazon. Just 5 years later, they were bringing in $80 million in annual sales before they cashed out and sold to a private equity firm for a whopping $100 million. That's one of the biggest exits in Amazon FBA history. But what makes their story so incredible is the way that they did it. It's not the way that we typically recommend new sellers to go, but these guys did it so damn well that it's an Amazon tactic that you definitely want to understand and implement yourself. So first up, who is this mysterious brand? They've got hundreds of thousands of customer reviews on Amazon, millions of customers, and many more millions of dollars in the bank. But I'm almost 100% sure that you've never heard of them. And maybe that's not really a bad thing. Their name is Web Deals Direct. Yeah, it's not exactly the best brand name you've ever heard. But here's where their brilliance comes in. They didn't drop all of their eggs in a single Web Deals Direct basket. Instead, they built a diverse portfolio of up to 30 different, highly targeted brands across multiple niches. Now, 30 brands might sound a little bit crazy to you, and it is if you're just getting started. But before we get to the brilliant way that they did it, you might be interested to know that they didn't start off much different than you or me. It's like most new sellers starting on Amazon, Web Deals Direct, they started small. So it was founded in 2014 by two business partners who kicked it off as a side project as they worked their full-time jobs. So their initial goal was to make $300,000 a year in profit so that they could split it 50-50 and each walk away with about $150K. So that's about $12,000 a month because I did the maths. So that's similar to what a lot of Amazon sellers dream of making when they first get started. And here's how co-founder and CEO Adam Feinberg speaks about those early days.
We thought really small, $300,000 a year that we could split. That was kind of the dream. All of a sudden, the business was making over $1,000 a day.
$1,000 a day. I mean, that's gonna pay the rent for sure. Now, like most beginner sellers who hit it big, they were as shocked as anyone when they started seeing that serious cash roll in, but they were even less ready for what came next. So in year two, their business exploded. They kept reinvesting the profits, and just a couple of years later, they had a dozen brands under their umbrella, and they were doing annual sales of between $40 to $80 million. So they were blown up to number one across a bunch of different categories, and the cash came raining down. But what was the secret inside this magic money cloud? So for most sellers on Amazon, the strategy is this. You start with one product and then you expand into related products for the same audience in a way that nicely fits under their initial brand umbrella. And it's an approach that can work. Other companies make the mistake of expanding into products in totally different categories, and they try to fit those new products under the initial brand idea that they started with. Well, here's where Web Deals Direct took a different approach with a brilliant strategy. In every niche they entered, they crafted very specific brands around each product. So they created brands like Zap It, which absolutely dominates the electric bug zapping market. Yeah, there's a market for that. Zap It collected tens of thousands of mostly positive reviews before expanding into different colors across a ton of different ASINs and SKUs. So a big part to their success was creating eye-catching listings that said, look, we're different. You can trust us. I mean, which of these products would you trust to whack the shit out of pesky flies? And here's another one, the Flexi Hose, which really stands out against shitty generic Chinese brands like J&B X Panda Hose. Whatever that is. So this one Flexi Hose listing does almost $1 million in revenue. And a big part of that success is how well they've crafted a brand that stands out visually and relates to the specific product. Then you got brands like Space Saver, which is a range of vacuum bags. You probably couldn't find a more boring product if you tried. But these guys made vacuum bags sexy. They made a sexy looking brand that stood out against the competition, and they've absolutely killed it. I mean, just take a look at the BSR on this one. Since they launched it, they've never gone out of stock, and they've absolutely crushed it year on year. I'm pretty damn jealous. So they've done this across a bunch of brands, nailing hitting that number one or number two bestseller rank almost every single time. So they repeat the same strategy for their Grillman brand and over 20 other micro brands that dominate different niches across Amazon. So from vibrating ab toning belts to UV and nail lamps, it is truly amazing what people spend their money on. Now there's one thing that all of these products have got in common. None of them say Web Deals Direct. Because they've done such a great job with the creation of their listings, their branding, they've been able to position many of their products above the average market price, and they're still smashing sales. And it's not just about standout listings. Their listings show up everywhere. They absolutely dominate the search results with a mixture of sponsored and organic placements. So everywhere you look when you're shopping for a specific product, you see a Zap It Bug Zapper or a Grillman or a Space Saver, you get the picture. So the one thing that you should have planted in your brain by now is whatever niche or niches that you're looking to enter, craft very specific brands and listing for that niche and for that customer avatar. Use visual branding as a way to stand out versus the Chinese competitors with random ass names that make no sense. Now, if you're looking to be the next Web Deals Direct, go and check out this 40-minute live product research masterclass where you can learn how to spot opportunities for new brands and new products.